Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am taking you through a 20-minute cardio Pilates workout. So we've got 20 moves that we'll do for 45 seconds on with 15 seconds of rest in between. Getting started with a quick warm-up, we're going to start standing on one end of our mat with the feet hip distance apart. We'll inhale as we reach the arms up, dive forward in a forward fold, walk out to a high plank, give me 2 knees in towards the chest, then walk hands back towards the feet, roll up, arms overhead, and we'll do it all again. Here we go. So reach the arms up overhead, dive forward, feel that stretch, walk the hands out, high plank, right knee in, left knee in, walk the hands back, slowly roll up through the spine, reach the arms overhead, and dive forward. Try to bring a bend into your knees so that you're able to keep your palms flat on the mat as you walk them out and then back in. And roll up, inhale, arms overhead, exhale, dive down, feel that stretch. Walk out, just warming up here, taking it nice and slow. Walk the hands in, roll up through the spine, 10 seconds left here. We've got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Next warm-up move, we're just gonna take some slow squats. So bring your feet out as wide as the mat, turned out at about a 45-degree angle. We'll sit the hips down and back as the arms reach overhead, and then press the arms back as we stand up tall. Inhale, sink low in your squat. Exhale, stand up straight, press the arms behind the hips. Inhale, bend the knees, arms raise. Exhale, straighten, arms press back. Taking this nice and slow, starting to warm up through the legs, through the arms, through the core as we squeeze the abs in tight as we lower down into our squat. Inhaling down, exhaling up, keeping a nice neutral spine here, making sure the back isn't arching as we bend and straighten. We've got 10 seconds left, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. For 3, 2, and 1. Next up, let's step the right foot forward, left foot back, finding a lunge position. We'll pulse the knees twice in the lunge and then straighten our legs. So we'll pulse, pulse, and straighten in 3, 2, and 1. Bend the knees, pulse, pulse, press up to straight, bend and pulse, pulse and straighten, trying to get 2 90-degree bends through those knees. Making sure here that the right knee is staying nice and stacked over that right ankle, and as we bend into our lunge, the left knee is coming directly under the left hip. As we pulse, pulse, and press up, trying to keep most of your weight forward in that right foot as we're really trying to target that right glute and quad here. As we pulse, pulse, and straighten, the left toes are nice and light on the mat, really dumping our weight forward here. Just 5 seconds left. 3, 2, and 1. Sticking with this lunge position with the right foot forward, we're gonna drop down quickly into our lunge and then press up super slow. Drop down and then press up, up, up in 5 seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Drop down quickly into your lunge and then straighten, straighten, straighten. Drop it down and press up nice and slow, starting to feel that burn through the right side here. Keeping our same breath pattern as the previous move, so inhaling as we drop, exhaling nice and slow as we press up through the legs, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. We're over halfway through this move, and then we just have one final move in this lunge position. As we inhale, drop the knees, find that 90-90 bend. Exhale, press up, up, and up. 5 seconds left here. Just for 3, 2, and last one. Next up, right knee is bent, left leg is extended, arms reach overhead, and we'll tap the left foot in and back as we press the arms back and forward in 5 seconds. Here we go. Tap that left foot in and back. Tap it in and back as we press the arms behind the hips and reach them forward. I like to inhale as I extend, exhale as I tap in, To make this a little bit more challenging, I want you to sink deeper into that right side, but also be cautious not to be dumping weight into the right hip. So we're keeping the hip nice and aligned with the knee and the ankle, with the shoulders stacked over the hips as we tap the foot in and back. If this is a bit too intense, just lift up out of that right side a little bit, decreasing the bend in the right knee, just for these final 10 seconds left here, and then we get a break. Just for 3, 2, and 1. Next up, we'll take a wide squat, rotate to the left, give me 1 lunge, rotate center, rotate to the right, rotate center, straighten the legs, and then we'll do that all again. So just moving from side to side in 2 and 1. So bend in your wide squat, rotate to the left, give me a lunge, rotate center, rotate to the right, rotate center, quick break, straighten the legs. Bend the knees down, rotate left, center, to the right, and center, and straighten the legs. So bend it down. Let's do that all again. The only time the legs are coming completely straight is after 1 full round of those side to side lunges. So try to keep your knees nice and bent to maximize tension on those leg muscles as we come into our center squat and rotate from side to side. We've just got 5 seconds left here. Just 3, 2, and 1. We've got to repeat that entire lunge series on the left side now. So left foot forward, right foot steps back. Starting off with our double pulse lunge. So we'll bend the knees, pulse twice, and straighten. Here we go. Bend down into your lunge, pulse, pulse, and straighten. Bend the knees, pulse, pulse, straighten the legs. Inhaling as we bend down into our lunge, exhaling as we press up to straight. Just like on the other side, I want you to focus on keeping that left knee nice and stacked over the left ankle and keeping the right knee stacked under the right hip. Finding that nice 90-90 position with the legs, getting nice and low in our squat as we pulse, pulse, and straighten. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling out through the mouth. Just 10 seconds left here, keeping the shoulders stacked over the hips. Core is in nice and tight, working that left side for 2 and 1. We've got those quick lunge drops followed by our nice slow straightening of the legs, dropping into our lunge and then pressing up, up, up to straighten. Starting in 3, 2, and 1. Bend quick into your lunge and press up nice and slow. Straighten the legs. Drop it down. Press up, up, and up. Inhaling to drop. Exhaling to press down through that left heel, rooting down through the left side of the body to straighten up through the legs nice and slow. Really using that mind-muscle connection to make your left glute take the bulk of this work here as we press through the left foot, straighten through the legs. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out through the mouth. Left knee is still staying stacked over that left ankle. We've got under 10 seconds left here, and then our final lunge move. In 3, 2, and 1. Left knee stays bent now. Right leg extends behind us as we tap the foot in and back as the arms press back and overhead. Starting this in 2 and 1. Tap that right foot in to meet the left and tap it back. Tap it in. Tap it back as the arms press back behind the hips and reach overhead, nice and active through the upper body here. The focus is obviously on the legs, the lower body during this move, but we're getting a little bit of a bonus burn through those arms as we press them back and reach them forward as the right toes tap in and back. Maybe trying to sink an inch or 2 deeper into that left side. Really burning out through this left glute here for our final lunge move. We've only got 10 more seconds left here. Exhaling as we tap the toes in, inhaling to reach them long. 5 seconds left. We rest in 3, 2, and 1. Let's find a narrow squat now. We'll pulse the hips down 2 times. Step the left foot out to the side, pulse twice. Step center and pulse, step right and pulse, center and pulse. In 2 and 1. Starting with the feet hip distance apart, pulse twice in your squat. Step the left foot out, pulse twice. Step it in, pulse twice. Step the right foot out and pulse. Right foot in and pulse. Staying low in our squat this entire time, so never straightening out through the legs. We're just bending a little bit deeper as we pulse twice and then coming right back into our squat position. Stepping side to side, starting to feel this a little bit more through those outer glutes as we find that wide squat pulsing, and a bit more through our quads as we find our narrow squat. We've got under 10 seconds left here. Take a big breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. We rest in 2 seconds, and 1. Let's find our alternating oblique crunch now. So drawing elbow and knee together in the air and then hopping over to the other side and drawing elbow and knee together. In 2 and 1. So let's draw left elbow to left knee, hop over, right elbow to right knee, and hop over. To make this low impact, just step over to the other side. But if you're wanting to intensify this a little bit, make the hop a bit more dramatic, make it a bit more dynamic in the air as we hop, right elbow to right knee, hop over, left elbow to left knee, focusing on that crunch through the oblique on each side, that crunch through the side of the waist, using that mind-body connection once again as we exhale, squeeze the oblique. Inhale, send everything long, hop over, exhale, crunch, inhale, switch. We've got 5 seconds left here before our final standing move. In 2 and 1. Let's alternate 2 cross punches now and 2 overhead reaches. Tapping toes out to the side each time, getting the heart rate up a little bit, moving as fast as you'd like. In 3 seconds, 2 and 1. Cross punch for 2, overhead reach, and reach, cross punch, 2, reach overhead, and reach overhead. Just alternating those punches and those overhead reaches, tapping the same foot as the arm that's moving out to the side each time. Like I said before, taking this as fast or as slow as you want to here, getting that heart rate up for our final standing move. We are on the mat for the rest of class after this, so maybe challenge yourself here to pick up the pace just a little bit. We've only got 10 seconds left in this move, and then we're heading down to the mat. Just 5 seconds left. We've got our 15-second rest in 2 and 1. Let's take it down to the mat now in a bridge position. So hips are lifted. We'll lift one knee up to tabletop, lower and lift the hips, lower the foot down, lift the other leg up, lower and lift the hips. Here we go in 2 and 1. So lift those hips up, lift the left knee, tap the hips down and up. Left foot comes down, right knee lifts, hips tap down and up. Right foot places down. Keep going, hips staying lifted the entire time except for that quick little tap down on the mat, barely touching before we lift them right back up. Pressing down through the foot that is staying on the ground, especially into the heel of the foot to really activate up the back of the working leg, up through that hamstring and glute. Breathing however feels natural to you here as we tap the hips down and up. Place the foot down. Switch sides. We've only got 5 seconds left here. 3, 2, and 1. Sticking with our bridge moves now, we're going to widen our legs out as wide as the mat and rotate the toes out at a 45-degree angle. And we'll just lift the hips, pulse them twice towards the sky, and drop them down with the option to raise the arms. Here we go. We press the hips up, pulse, pulse, and tap them down. Lift the hips, pulse, pulse, lower them down, making sure our feet are out nice and wide here, feeling this a little bit more through the outer glutes versus the bridge series we did before was focused more on the glute max or the center of the glute. So really squeezing through our abductors here, that outer edge of our glute, our outer thighs as we pulse, pulse. Tap the hips down. Option here to have the arms reaching up above the shoulders if you want a bit more of a challenge, or press them down by your hips, whatever's working for you. We've got a bit under 10 seconds left here, and then we'll flip over for some tricep push-ups. In 3, 2, and 1. Just like I said, we're flipping over, stacking shoulders over wrists, knees are down on the mat. We'll come down in our tricep push-ups, scraping elbows by the ribs, press up, and sit the hips back for a child's pose. In 2 and 1, shoulders over wrists, we bend the elbows, straighten, hips press back, and shift forward. Inhale, bend the elbows, exhale, press up and back, child's pose. Inhale, shift forward, bend, tricep push-up, elbows scrape by the rib cage. We press up and sit the hips back. Keeping the core nice and tight here, finding that modified plank position, making sure we're not dropping the belly down towards the mat during our push-up. We've got a nice flat, neutral spine here with a straight line from the top of the head down towards the hips. As we inhale, shift forward, bend the elbows. Exhale, press up, sit the hips back for a quick rest. We've only got 3 seconds left here, you can do it. And let's take a rest. Let's flip onto our backs now, lower opposite arm and leg down towards the mat, and then find a tabletop crunch. Before lowering the other arm and leg down towards the mat, taking a crunch up, tapping the fingers behind the legs. Here we go. So lower opposite arm and leg overhead. Bring everything through center, crunch up, tap the fingertips together behind the legs, come back down, opposite arm and leg reach, come through center, crunch up, tap the fingers, release down, inhale, opposite arm and leg reach, exhale, bring everything together, inhale, crunch up, exhale, lower down onto the mat. If you're feeling that crunch through your neck, I want you to bring your hands behind your head as you crunch up instead of tapping them behind the legs. But if you're able, really try to get those fingertips to touch behind the thighs, really crunching up through the upper body, lifting head, neck, and shoulder blades up off the mat. We're only here for 3, 2, and 1. Leave the knees in tabletop, hands come behind the head. We'll crunch up, extend one leg, lower and lift it, bend it back in, lower down through the chest, crunch up, and do it all again on the other side. Here we go, crunch up through the chest, left leg extends, lift straight up, lower down, bend the knee in, chest lowers to the mat, crunch up through the chest, right leg extends, lift it straight up, lower it down, bend it in, lower through the chest. So just alternating sides here, getting a core workout with this move, but also getting a nice stretch for the back of the working leg, especially as we lift it straight up towards the sky. So if you can, try to keep the leg nice and straight so we really get that little release through the hamstring here. As we crunch up through the chest, extend one leg out, lift and lower, bend it back in, and lower down through the chest. And let's take a break. We'll bring our right forearm to the mat, finding a modified side plank with the right knee down. We'll thread the needle by reaching the left arm under the right side of the body, coming up nice and tall, and then dropping the right hip down and up. Here we go. Reach the left arm up, reach it under the right side of the body, extend it towards the sky, right hip taps down, and lift. Thread the needle, left arm reaches up, hips tap the mat, and lift right back up. Try to keep that left leg extended out to the side, but if this is just a bit too intense, feel free to drop your left knee on top of the right knee, stacking knees together as we thread the needle and drop the hips down and up. Or if you're looking for even more of a challenge here, feel free to come into a full side plank, extending both legs straight with the feet down on the mat as we reach the left arm under and up. Hips tap down and lift, feeling this through that right oblique. You can do it, just 3 more seconds. I know this is tough. And rest. Next up, no surprises here. We're just repeating that series on the other side. So left forearm is down on the mat, left knee is resting down as well with the right leg extended. We'll thread the needle and then lower and lift the hips. Here we go. Right arm reaches under the left side of the body, bring it up towards the sky, left hips tap down and up. Right arm reaches under, thread the needle, lift the arm up to the sky, tap the hips, and lift, making sure that left shoulder is staying nice and stacked over the left elbow the entire time, and you're really pressing down through the forearm to stay active through the upper body, not dumping our weight into that left shoulder. As we thread the needle, right arm reaches under, and lift, left hips tap down, and up. We only have one move after this, so really use your breath to get you through these final minutes of this class. We've only got 3 seconds left here. And take a break. We'll stack shoulders over wrists next, find our high plank. Tap the knees into a bear position and back out long before coming into 4 mountain climbers. In 3, 2, and 1. So find your plank, tap both feet in, knees under the hips, tap them back, right knee in, left, right, and left. Let's start with the left foot in, left back, right back, draw knee to chest for 3, 2, and 1. Walk the knees in under the hips, walk them back, find your plank, 4 mountain climbers, pressing up through the palms, nice and active through the upper body. Keeping a nice neutral spine here, no arch through that lower back, nice and engaged through the core, lifting that belly button up towards the spine. These are your final 10 seconds of work in this class. Breathe through it, you can do it. 5 seconds left here. We find a child's pose in 2 and 1. Drop the knees, press the hips back, reach the arms forward, breathing here, reaching your chest down towards the mat. Start to shift forward into an all-fours position now, shoulders over wrists, hips over knees, and take an inhale as you arch the back, lift the chest and chin towards the sky. Exhale, tuck chin to chest, curve up through the spine. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, getting a stretch through the front side of the body. Exhale, rounding through the spine, stretching out through the back. Find your neutral spine now, tuck the toes, lift the hips up and back, find your downward dog. Maybe alternating bending into one knee at a time, pressing opposite heel down towards the mat, feeling that stretch through the backs of the legs. And then press both heels down onto the mat, walk your hands back towards your feet, find your forward fold. Grab a hold of opposite elbow here, sway gently from side to side, releasing any tension through the spine. And then come through center, drop your hands, shake your head yes and no, releasing any neck tension here. And then grab a hold of the backs of your legs, pull your chest in towards your thighs, giving yourself a hug, thanking yourself for everything you just did for your body and mind. Release your hands back to the mat, roll up 1 vertebra at a time. Inhale, reach arms all the way up overhead. Exhale, float them down by your sides. Let's take some shoulder rolls back here, releasing any tension through the upper body, and switch directions, rolling the shoulders to the front for 2 and for 1. And that is it for today's 20-minute cardio Pilates workout. I hope you liked it. If you did, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thanks, everyone.